This conference will now be recorded.
Hello and happy new year. It is Taiisha Bradley, celebrity publicist and founder of Modern Noir, CEO of Modern Noir as well. So thank you so much for joining me. I know it's January 1st, so I'm so glad that you've taken the time to be here after your New Year's Eve celebrations. If you were not able to join us today, this will be recorded and you should be watching the replay if you're watching this recording. So thank you for taking the time to go back and to watch and see what you missed. So if you are seeing this email, if you're seeing this video, you have received an email first. And it is because you have been specially invited to come and listen to me today to talk about the seventh principle of Kwanzaa, which is Imani for faith. So all week, I have been sending out a daily email series of 7 days of the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. It's called Kwanzaa as the business model for 2020. So what I've done is I have researched and just found all this great information about Kwanzaa and have applied the Kwanzaa principles in a manner that makes sense for entrepreneurs. And so we're going to work collectively collaboration to use Kwanzaa as a business model for 2020 to help our own businesses and to help each other. So I'm going to go briefly over what we talked about for Kwanzaa as the business model. So if you know a little bit about Kwanzaa or you don't know much about Kwanzaa, I'll give you a quick little background. Kwanzaa is a celebration of African American culture and heritage. It lasts 7 days from December 26th to January 1st. So it starts the day after Christmas and it goes all the way through January 1st. So it does not replace Christmas. It's not like the Black Christmas, like you still do Christmas. But it's a separate observance designed to be a bridge between Christmas and New Year's Day. So, they talk about tying the years together. So what I wanted to do was to help us as entrepreneurs create a bridge from 2019 to 2020. And what I've done is gone through the days of Kwanzaa as far as what would the ancestors say. So let's talk about it. The holiday is mostly celebrated by people of African heritage in the United States and even in Canada. And duly noted, it is a cultural celebration that can be celebrated by any culture, just like Cinco de Mayo. Okay, so you don't have to be Black or African culture to celebrate it. It's an observance. So the first day, December 26th, Hi Shay is Umoja or unity. And that's the one Black candle that's in the middle that we unite, and the Black is for the people. And so Umoja, unity, the principle is to strive for and maintain unity in the family, the community, the nation, the region, and the people. So as I've done research, I've determined, how can we relate unity in this principle to Kwanzaa, to as far as entrepreneurs. And so what I've learned is that Umoja speaks to the importance of teamwork. So in 2020, you will need to broaden your team by outsourcing and strategic partnerships. So write that down. In 2020, you will need to broaden your team by outsourcing and strategic partnerships. So let's talk about that a little bit more. Okay, I have some people joining in, so I'm kind of back and forth on the phone. Just give me 1 second. All the tech things. We have all the technology, got the phone going, the video camera going, the computer camera going. All right. So building a team united in a goal requires patience. It requires dedication, understanding. We need that understanding with the team, and most importantly, trust. Trust. It's so hard to work together as entrepreneurs and just kind of trust people. But before we can connect with and understand other entrepreneurs, we must first know others as individuals. So this means putting aside preconceived notions. So as entrepreneurs, we know that we see other entrepreneurs on social media, or we see them at events in different places. We hear things about each other. Oh, she's hard to work with, or, all kinds of things. And so we see each other's representatives, our business representatives. So what I am proposing for Umoja unity means putting together more trust, getting to know people as their person, not as their business representative, not as a fellow entrepreneur, but getting to know people as individuals before we jump to conclusions and decide that we don't want to work with these people or we're not going to do business. I mean, I believe as entrepreneurs, we all we all deserve a second chance to make a first impression. So for Umoja, I challenge everyone to reach out to that fellow entrepreneur that you've always wanted to collaborate with. Invite them to coffee, invite them to lunch, do a Skype meeting. But I encourage you to keep the business talk limited and take the time to get to know one another as individuals. So that was day one, Umoja Unity. So on the day two email was Kujichagulia. Kujichagulia, and that's self-determination. That means to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves, instead of being defined, named, created for, and spoken for by others. Kujichagulia encourages you to be willing to take the risk and be disruptive in your industry. So write that down. Take risk and be disruptive in your industry. We're all doing things to stand out, and what stands out is risk. When you go out on a limb, when you choose to do things in your own way. So how can we be more self-determined in that way? Start by considering your personalities and your unique ways of doing things. Now think about your goals. How can you reach your goals? By staying true to your personality and by doing things in your own way. Be willing to do what no one else is doing simply because it works for you. Be willing to go where no one goes has been simply because you can. And don't let your lack of knowledge or resources stop you or slowing down. So what this talks about is doing you. What's your personality? Are you shy? Then don't hold yourself back by doing things that you're just not ready to do. Do what you can. So if you don't like to go live, that's not something that is my favorite thing right now, I built myself up to do that. So instead of going live and showing my face, I would go live and show other people. I'd go live and show places and things and just talk in the background until I was more comfortable coming up. But what I didn't do is I was self-determined to not let that stop me from doing what I needed to do to reach more people, which is video. And so sometimes we get caught up in, all the funnels and the technology, and we get caught up there. And those are things that you grow to, that you learn to. But what you don't do is you don't let that stop you. I just got my very first legit ring light. I hope my lighting looks good. But you know what? Before I got that, and I didn't really know what I was doing, I made a ring light. I made a ring light for $10 from Walmart and was like, let me see if this helps. So you can be creative and just do what you need to do and use what you have for your resources to be self-determined, to make sure that you set your goals and you go for them. So I've been taking risks and focusing on doing things in my own unique way and getting them done. So just know that growth and innovation take time. But you have to keep moving. So on Kujichagulia, I challenge everyone to develop faith in their abilities by being great with what you already know how to do. So if you have any questions right now, there should be an area where you are able to ask questions or let me know if you want me to stop or anything. So thank you all for being on here. Hi, Zakira. Zakira is one of my rich friends, real friends, and I see Shay on here. Thank you so much for being here. And I've been seeing you receiving and reading your email. So great. I'm so appreciative of having you guys here. So let's get on to this next one. So day 3 was Ujima, collective work and responsibility. And that principle is to build and maintain a community together and make sure our sisters and brothers' problems are our problems and to solve them together. So on the third day of Kwanzaa, it gives you the chance to reflect on how you give back to the community. So in this email, we talked about volunteering, how volunteering is the best way to help others in need, just getting in there and doing what needs to be done, and how donating funds is the easiest. So if you don't have the time or the energy to get out there and volunteer, hey, donate $500 or $500 to an organization. So whether you swing a paintbrush or sign a check, We need to learn how to compile our resources, our knowledge, and our skills to solve problems in our own neighborhoods and our communities. How can we work together to help each other in business? And how can we work together to make sure that our successful businesses are giving back to the community in a way that's meaningful? So supporting local charities and volunteering not only builds your own personal self-esteem, but it also gives you the satisfaction of doing something good. It also builds goodwill in the community when you're out there donating, when you're out there volunteering, when you're sharing information from other nonprofit organizations or good causes. And that also forges relationships that are going to be helpful to you in future opportunities. When people understand and know that you're philanthropic and that you are not just in business for money, but for purpose, the opportunities will come to you a lot more. So that day on Ujima, the third day of Kwanzaa, I asked everyone to select a cause to champion for based on their interest or importance to you. So find a local opportunity or local organization that you can volunteer for or make a donation and invite other people to do the same. And that should be a part of your business model to definitely give back to the community. So day 4, we're a little over halfway there, was Ujama, cooperative economics, to build and maintain business and to profit from them together. So in 2020, we need to investigate new ways to bear the burden of the ups and downs of entrepreneurship in both business and in our personal lives. And what does that mean? That means as entrepreneurs, we know that we have these highs and we want to celebrate with people who understand how big of a deal it is that our ring light came. Okay. Not everybody understands that, or that your workflow system is going together, or that you finally, figured out how to use Asana. Like, those are huge things. So we need other people who can relate to those ups and those celebrations, right? And that'll be other entrepreneurs. We also need people who can relate to the downs in entrepreneurships, when your ring light breaks or you're having technology difficulties. Luckily, that has not happened today, so let me not even say that. I take that back, universe. But we just have these ups and downs in our business. Some months we're profitable, some months we're in the hole, and so we also need other people to share the burdens of those ups and downs, to talk to about it. People who've been there, who can talk us through those or give us suggestions or ideas, and that's all a part of cooperative economics. A large way that I give back to the community in cooperative economics is through events. So through the Rutherford County Black Business Network, which is now DBA officially as Modern Noir full-time, yay! We have put together opportunities for businesses to showcase their businesses, to network and meet with other businesses, and also have fun. So throughout, from 2018 all the way throughout this year, all the way completely through 2019, we have been putting together events for the community and for the minority business community to give people the opportunity to showcase their businesses. And that's my way of doing cooperative economics. Most recently, on November 30th, we had the Fall Business Showcase. We showcase over 57 minority businesses at Patterson Park on the 10th annual anniversary of American Express's Small Business Saturday. And the way that people just kind of came together, people came out to support, the other businesses were excited to know other people and to collaborate. So many people made deals with one another. I had an author who made a deal with a bookstore to have her book carried. I mean, it's just great the way the cooperative economics work. And that's something that we need to all do, and that we need to all put into our business models for 2020 to make sure that we're doing everything we can on all ends to work together to make sure that everyone profits, so that we can give back to the community in the way and make everything better. So if you were on this email series, then you received 8-minute super recap of the Fall Business Showcase. And if you weren't on the email, I'll make sure that there's a link for you to see that in any kind of follow-up subsequent emails. But that's when we talked about cooperative economics. So moving on to day 5, December 30th, we talked about Nia and purpose. And so before I go on, I just want to reintroduce myself in case people are just kind of hopping on. I'm Taiisha Bradley, celebrity publicist, and I'm the CEO and founder of Modern Noir. And we are going over the email series that everyone has received this week for the 7 principles of Kwanzaa as the business model for 2020. So we've gone over day 4. We're on day 5 for December 30th, Nia Purpose. So if you're watching the replay, you can feel free to rewind this. If you just hopped on now, there will be a replay and you can catch from the beginning. So we're on day 5 right now. So day 5 was Nia, or purpose. And the principle for Nia, or purpose, is to make our collective vocation the building and developing of our country in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. Now, I know that sounds like a mouthful, but what it's talking about is working in purpose, not just working for a dollar. Not just working for a dollar, but striving to make a difference with our business. And through that, when we have thriving businesses, we have thriving communities, we have thriving economies, and it's just good for everyone. And we want to restore our people to their traditional greatness. And so we talk about our people. Remember, we're talking about Kwanzaa being the African culture. So it's talking about the cultures of the African ancestors that were kings, that were queens, before slavery. Even after that, when we're talking about civil rights movement, we had all these great leaders who just stepped out on faith all the time and risked their lives. Greatness. We need to restore our people to their greatness. Something that I study that I have a fascination with is wealth disparity, wealth gaps. Like, what is the difference between the minority businesses, particularly African American businesses and families, and the ginormous wealth gap between that of Caucasian families? And so what I've learned is that there's almost no Black middle class anymore. And when we talk about restoring people to their traditional greatness, that's something that I really feel strongly about, is that we need, as people, we need to work together, especially in this political climate and the things that are going on, to be great in our entrepreneurship, to be great in our businesses, to be great in our community, and return our people to our traditional greatness. All right, so Nia tells us that working in your purpose also requires striving for business excellence. So we say that we're working in our purpose. It also means that if you're working in your purpose, you got to come full force with it. You can't half do it. You got to come full force when you're doing your purpose work. So this goes to the taboo, talk about, I would love to support Black businesses, but, or, I will never shop with this other Black business. All right, so that is just something that happens in the Black community on business. So we're going to talk about that really quick, because the Kwanzaa principles talk about that, and it talks about that under Nia Purpose. So let's talk about it. Black-owned businesses have this generalized reputation when it comes to customer service experience, and we get this reputation that we aren't professional, or that things aren't on the up and up or above board. But that is changing so much, and people need to get rid of those generalizations and those stereotypes. But we, as African American entrepreneurs, we definitely need to make sure that we're doing all we can to be serving in our purpose and excellence. Okay, so whether the stereotype is justified or not, the 5th principle of Kwanzaa tells us that we should always strive to offer the best customer experience as possible when we're working in our purpose. So on that day for Nia, I challenged everyone to be hyper aware and hyper committed to improving 5 key areas in these 2020 business models. So we're going to go over it really quickly. So the first one is developing high quality products and services that help and not harm our communities. It's our responsibility to make sure that we have high quality products and services that we deliver, because customers feel taken advantage of when they receive mediocre products or services. And we cannot continue to expect people to just buy Black just because, okay? We have to be putting out high quality products and services in our purpose work. Also, so number 2 key area, providing high touch customer service experience that exceeds customers' expectations. Because of this generalized reputation, we're just going to have to go above and beyond to exceed our customers' reputation. Does that mean putting yourself out or cutting into your profits? It doesn't. But small things like listening attentively to your customers' queries in the first step, so you don't have to ask additional questions, or even making sure that your intake form has all the questions that you need, so there's not any follow-up. Do things like add personal touches that crosses the bounds of business like interactions. Like I said, people want to know you, who you are as an individual. So do small things that may not be business traditional, like making an actual phone call, like sending a text message to your client, sending a photo message to your client, just anything that you can do to help your customers feel less automated. So automate automate. We don't automate people. I'll say that. We don't automate people. We automate processes. We don't automate people in 2020. So the third area, manage your reputation. Give customers several ways to provide feedback, through email, through survey, do whatever you can, because when people don't have the opportunity to give negative feedback, they'll put it anywhere. And we don't want that. That's kind of hard to manage. It's kind of hard to clean up. Basically, for one negative review, you're going to have to get like 10 positive reviews that are going to negate that. So manage your reputation and give people a platform and an opportunity to give you feedback. If you were looking for positive feedback, you can email people or go live and tell them, positive feedback. Post it on our Facebook page, post it on Yelp, post it on Google reviews. Hey, you didn't have such a great time? Here's an email that you can send it to. Please send us a DM. So manage your reputation, because we know that facts spread like wildfire, and great ones you have to go ahead and fish for. So that's the third one. So the fourth one is creating and keeping consistent business hours so customers and clients can manage their expectations. Okay, so everyone has gotten like the late at night Friday email, and people want an answer Saturday morning. But if you don't set your boundaries and let people know when your business hours are, they're going to feel like you are being inaccessible. So set clear boundaries from the start. Let people know what your business hours are so they don't feel like you're ignoring them. So you don't feel pressure or frustrated and obligated to, respond to people outside of business hours. And so we don't want to give people any more misconceived appearances that we aren't reliable or inaccessible in 2020. And so the final key in Ania Purpose is following up with people. So once you've achieved what you wanted from a client or you delivered the service, don't consider it the end. Keep in touch. It is much easier to keep a client than to get a new client or customer. So small things can have a big impact. Find special ways to feel, to follow up with people or to remind yourself, or send a note card through the mail. So those are 5 key areas where we could be working in our purpose to make sure that we are keeping Kwanzaa as a business model in 2020, and that we are providing excellence when we're working in our purpose. So I'm going to take a sip of my water in my Modern War bottle. Shameless plug. They are available on the website. You can get 1 or you can get 3 and give them out. But I do need a sip. So we're about halfway through our hour, but I feel like we're ahead of schedule. So I'm just going to keep going. So I appreciate you hanging in there and watching us on New Year's Day. So let's get back to it. Day 6 was December 1st, New Year's Eve, and that day was Kuumba, or creativity. And that principle is to do always as much as we can in the way that we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited. So Kumba, when we talk about creativity, it's an underrated aspect of the small business, and as creativity is so required in entrepreneurship. Even if you feel like you are not creative, you are. If you can solve a problem, you are creative. So coming up with an idea, seeing it through, keeping it going, keeping it fresh, pivoting, all of those things require the greatest amount of creativity. And entrepreneurs, I just feel like we don't get enough credit for being creativity, because a lot of people just don't see the behind the scenes things that we do to solve problems to be creativity. And Kwanzaa rightly celebrates creativity because it makes the world go round. We need to learn to think outside the box. We need to learn to work more with working like with our intuition and just kind of having an idea and going with it. And we need to be able to apply our creativity to business problems and community problems and world problems to create solutions. And where there's inspiration, there's creativity. So day 6 for that Kuumba email that people in the Kwanzaa as a business model for 2020 received was a video, and it was me speaking at Nananum African Heritage, which is a local nonprofit organization here in Middle Tennessee, and they teach African heritage and drum and dance and education. And so I help with that event. You guys know that, like, I do all the events, all the things. And so I was a speaker, and the principle that I was assigned was Kaumba, creativity. And I was like, man, creativity follows me all the time. People always say that, I'm so creative. Oh, you're so creative. And how'd you come up with this? You're so creative. And then lots of those people say that they're not creative. And to me, I'm like, how can you not be creative? Like, if you can solve a problem, you're creative. If you can dress your kids and make them match, that's creativity. If you can go in your kitchen and find random things to eat, it's creativity. If you can find a different way to get home because 24 is backed up, it's creativity. You are creative. You have to be inspired, though, to be creative. So if you're working in your business and you feel like you're not creative and you can't think of anything, it's because you're not inspired right then. So you have to go back and see and think about what inspires you. And when you get inspired, you get the ideas, the creativity. And a main thing about creativity is people are like, oh, that's a fantastic idea. How'd you come up with it? Where that fantastic idea was, I guarantee you there was 99 not fantastic ideas. So when you're being creative, you have to just think about ideas and just write everything down. If you're trying to get an idea for a party or a theme or anything, write down 100 ideas, just whatever comes out of your head. And I guarantee you that all those ideas won't be so great, but there'll be a few in there that are super creative, because you just kind of have to brain dump when you get that creativity spike. So if you have not received that email and seen that video, then I will be following up and sending that to you as well, because remember, we are following up. So that brings us to day 7, which is today, New Year's Day. Yay, Happy New Year. So I hope that your new year has been fantastic. Mine has been great. I've been super busy all week, getting prepared for what I'm about to talk to you about today. And that final principle is faith. And that principle is Imani, and it's faith. And when it comes to faith, there are different ways that you can determine what faith is. So some people, it is like religion. Give me 1 second. We have a couple people popping on. They're like, hey, I want to get on. So we're gonna send that off to a couple people that are hitting my phone. All the technology. Yeah, so we're going to talk about faith. And so faith can be different things for different people, and it can mean different things. So I'm just going to talk about what faith means for me, and I am going to tell you my story and how I stepped out on faith to be here today and what I have been working on. And so I hope I don't get super emotional or get the sniffles, but I'm just so thankful that you are here and listening and watching live, or if you couldn't catch it, that you're in the replay. But we've gone through the six of the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, and now I am going to be talking about faith, Imani. So I have always felt that I have been an entrepreneur. Even when I was a little kid, I used to sell paintings on my grandma's porch to the neighbors that were walking by. So I found some paint, I found some paper. I didn't even have any brushes. I had Q-tips. I got the paint, and I went outside, and you could get you a Taiisha Bradley Van Gogh for a whole nickel. And so that's what I started out doing. And so sometimes the neighbors would be like, does your grandma know you're out here? I'm like, wait a minute, don't be in my business. She doesn't. But I took that creativity that I learned to like paint with Q-tips, And I ended up starting to use that to do face painting for other kids at like vacation Bible school. So that was like my first little hustle. I would make tips. Um, painting, or either, they would give me like a few dollars. Here you go, baby. Thank you for doing the face painting. And so, we talked about creativity a little bit, and that's just kind of how I started. I was inspired by materials that I found, and I started painting. And so I'm not an artist by far, but I would say that, visual arts did start with my creativity. But when I learned about entrepreneurship and how I could just use an idea and just being creative to actually make money, I was like, listen, what can I not do? But as children, we are raised to, make good grades and go to school and go to college and get a great job. And so, that's what I did. I did, kind of dabble in entrepreneurship a little, but it's not something that I thought that I would do as a career. So after I graduated from high school, I went to college, and I love science. I love science. So I majored in biology, and I was going to do a focus on pre-med. But I went to college and I met chemistry, and it has a lot of math. And listen, I'm all about the words, but I'm not a math girl. Y'all, I don't care who you tell. I'm not a math girl, but all the words, I got them. And so when I ran into that, I was like, I don't think that this is a good track for me. Like, what else could I possibly do in my interest? And so there was a new major, and it was called Integrated Marketing Communication. And in that major, you got to take classes in like photography, videography, radio, TV, marketing, promotions, just all of like the communication kind of thing. I was like, this sounds pretty fun. So I decided to join that major. And what I found out was that I was right at home. That was right where I was supposed to be. I was able to use like my creativity and kind of like my business sense and my entrepreneurship bug, to dabble in all the different kinds of things that I was interested in. So I went through school. I ended up starting an internship at a radio station in Charlotte, North Carolina. And the funny thing is that the first radio station there, was just really competitive to get an internship with. But this new radio station, I was like, hey, I'll hit them up, for an internship because they're new. So what I didn't know is they didn't have an internship program, but they thought that, it would be a great idea. And they were like, hey, we don't have an internship program. If you want to like write up something and, send it to your school and get us approved, like, we're down for it. And it's what I did. And so I started the internship program at this radio station. Because I wanted to be there. I thought it would be fun. So working there, I did way past my internship because I loved it so much. But I got to work a lot with celebrities, and so most people don't know, but some people may have heard it before. I'm from a family with a celebrity, Bill Pinkney of the original Drifters. If you Google it, you'll see the music, and you'll be like, oh, okay. So I grew up in a family with a celebrity, but as a kid, you don't see your family members as a celebrity. So I got to be around celebrities and, privy to things like that. So it wasn't so much of a big deal for me when I started working at the radio station. And that was a great thing because I was, able to stay in my element and be on top of it. I got to meet celebrities, and I just really love like the celebrity life. And what I did decide that I love was the media relations and the publicity part of it. I really, really liked that. When the celebrities would come with their publicists, I would want to talk to them. I was really interested in that. And I decided like, all right, so with all this communication stuff that I've learned, I would like to be a publicist, particularly a celebrity publicist. I'm just going to call myself a celebrity publicist because who's going to check me? So little did I know, I was putting things into the atmosphere and the earth, that the universe was just sucking in like, all right, celebrity publicist, we're going to work on it. So after college, I graduated and I moved to Maryland. And I started at the hip hop radio station there. Like the very first day I got there, I had an interview. And I'm a country girl. I'm originally from South Carolina, born and raised. Like I visited some places. And I visited Maryland in the summer a lot when I was a kid, but like not as an adult. And so the very first day I was in Baltimore, I had to go downtown for an interview at the radio station. And like, it was like the most scary thing, like parking garages and crossing the street, and it was just insane. But I made it. I did it. And I decided at that time that I didn't want to go back into that. I felt like I wanted to be doing something more for myself again, entrepreneurship. So I introduced myself in a new town as a celebrity publicist, and I started taking on nonprofit organizations and startups, and I started working with like entrepreneurs as a publicist. And what I was doing was helping them to get like promotions and become covered in media so that people could know who they are. And I fell in love with that, you guys. Like, I love doing it so much. I love being behind the scenes. I love pushing people. I love championing for them. I love to see people in the newspaper and knowing that I helped do that. Like, it was just fascinating. And the more that I did it, the more people wanted it and the more that they needed it. And I loved like serving other Black entrepreneurs and people with like limited budgets and just all kinds of things. And that's how I, became into what I was doing. I put it into the atmosphere that I was going to be a celebrity publicist. I moved away where no one knew me, and I just reinvented myself. Hey, I'm Taiisha. I'm new here, and I'm a celebrity publicist. And during that time, I just got to work with so many amazing people. I got to work on campaigns in politics, which I found like I don't think that's my lane. It gets pretty brutal, at least up north it does. I got to work with public figures. I got to work with best-selling authors. One of my notable clients was Matthew Lesko. Remember the question mark guy that wore the suit with all the question marks on late at night? Hey, I'm Matthew Lesko. I worked for him and got him publicity. And just for the record, he's not like that crazy and zany like on a regular day. That's his persona. I got to work with football players for the Baltimore Ravens. I got to meet football players and just go to all these great events. And I was like, oh, I just love this life, working with celebrities, but I just continue to always have a heart for, entrepreneurs. And so throughout my career, I've continued, I started off in corporate, then I went to nonprofit, and I worked in corporate and nonprofit PR for about 25 years, actually. So I'd say 5 years in corporate and like 20 years in nonprofit. And that means like working nonprofit jobs in different states, also taking contracts, like writing grants for nonprofits, and then also working as a publicist for nonprofits on the side. And so it just got to a point to where when the entrepreneurship bug is after you, like there's nothing that you can do, especially when you find out your faith. So not your faith, your purpose. So I have been doing PR for such a long time, and I was one of those people who thought that, like, I don't know if I have a particular purpose. Maybe my purpose is just to raise my kids to, be the next president. I wasn't sure what exactly, like, how I fell into that. And so what I did learn is that when there's purpose and passion, it will find you. And it found me. And so I found myself unhappy with working 9 to 5s, even though I'm doing things to give back to the community. I wanted to be giving back to entrepreneurs and people who really needed me and people who I could help exponentially. And that's how I got started with doing the Rutherford County Black Business Network. Trying to connect Black-owned businesses with one another to network and support each other. And that has grown and evolved so much. That I have rebranded as Modern Noir. And I just really couldn't do it without help from people like you who are watching, people who share my posts, people who believe in me, people who hype me up, people who are on my email list, people who come to the events, people who tell other people about Modern Noir and the things that we're doing. I just really could not do that without you all. Even I've had help from the city of Murfreesboro, from Parks and Recreation, from the Tennessee Small Business Development Center, from the Chamber of Commerce. I'm just gone really well, and I'm just really grateful that I had the faith about a year and a half ago to step out of a 9 to 5 kind of position, of a work position, to serve full time, to figure out what I needed to do to get to the place where I can serve you all with excellence and greatness. because there's so many people out here who are doing such amazing things that don't get the resources or the opportunities to shine like they need to. And most of those people are minority entrepreneurs, minority businesses, particularly the African American business. And I have a heart for it, a drive for it, a passion for it. It's in my blood. My family, have been leaders and pioneers in civil rights movements in the past and even now. And so, it is my purpose. And I was able to have enough faith to step out and see if I fell or flew. And thanks to you all and so many people who've helped me, like I flew and I'm flying. And we have Modern Noir. Am I on the screen? We have Modern Noir now. And so let me tell you what Modern Noir is. Let me tell you the difference between Rutherford County Black Business Network, which we started off at, and Modern Noir. Rutherford County Black Business Network started off as being a community organization. Everything was just free. It's me trying to figure out, how to connect people and, get people networking, talking. But what I found is that as I gave excellence, people will want more. I'll give a little more excellence, people will want more. And so what I've learned is that in order for me to serve everyone how they really want and need and deserve to be served, I have to structure this thing in a different way, okay? Because I have a family and children and obligations, and I spend 60, 70, sometimes 80 hours a week doing what I do. So I had to build this into a way to that it's a business for me, because I'm an entrepreneur just like you, just like everyone else. I'm an entrepreneur. So I've had professional help to see where I could take Rutherford County Black Business Network and create it to be more so of an official business, and also serve you all with excellence, serve the brakes off you, just exceed your expectations. And guess what? I have it. I've done it. I've done it. So because everybody who's been on this email, who's received this series or received this link to watch this, you all are specially invited, and you're going to be the first to know this about Modern Noir, but we are officially launching and I am going to be sending out links for applications. I'm ready to invite it open to like everyone who's involved. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're in Rutherford County or any of the surrounding counties, Modern Noir is open, and we are a non-equity minority business alliance. That's a mouthful. And so this is what that means. This means that we are a collective of like-minded minority entrepreneurs who work together to share resources, who work together to share knowledge, to make sure that we all stay lifted and motivated and profitable. And then we take our resources and knowledge and our profits, and we each are responsible for pouring back into the community. Okay. So we're all helping each other out. We're a collective of minority businesses. So what that means is we have 125, actually less than 125, because we already have some members who are like, listen, I'm not waiting. I'm ready to join. So it's an alliance of 125 members. We are all each in a unique industry. Or if it's a very large industry, then you may be invited by your niche. So what that means that I'm a publicist. I'm the only publicist in the alliance. Okay. So when there's someone who needs PR services, they come to me. If someone knows of someone who needs a publicist, people in our collective, they refer me. So as a member of the alliance, if I decide that I would like to have an event, say I want to have a birthday party, okay, a large scale birthday party, it could be for business, say a community birthday party, I can reach out to our balloon designer, okay, in Modern Noir. And all of my business, when I need balloons, goes to my balloon designer. Anytime I need rentals of tables or chairs, it goes to the event rental person who is in the alliance. So do you understand? We reach out to each other. So if I need a cake, I reach out to the baker in our business alliance. That's how it works. And we do business with one another. And we do it with respect, and we serve each other with excellence, and we support each other, and we're there for each other. We basically help each other run and operate our businesses efficiently and effectively and more affordably because we're helping each other out. And so I feel like this is the nirvana of minority businesses. This is what we want. We all want to work with people who are reliable, who do great quality work. We want to have our go-to people. And it's just really hard to meet people and vet them out and make sure that they're professional. Are they on time? Are they reliable? Do they have a good personality? Are we like-minded? So Modern Noir is doing the guesswork of that for you. So everyone who applies or is invited to apply goes through an application process, an interview process, and then we will either offer membership to Modern Noir if your industry or your niche is available, or we might have to decline you if your industry or niche is not available, or if you do not fit the requirements for our collective at the time. And really, the only way to know if you can be a part of Modern Noir, if we have a space for you available, or if it's for you, is to apply. When you have your one-on-one interview with me, it can be in person or it can be on video. That's the time that you'll be able to ask questions and air out concerns to find out if Modern Noir is a great fit for you. So congratulations. You are officially invited to apply for a spot in Modern Noir. So if you go to our website, modernnoir.com, you will not see where you can fill out the application. And that is because I have given first dibs on all of our spots and for our different industries to you if you're watching, and some people who also have the link before we open it up to the general public. So just know there is only one spot per industry or niche that is available. So if you're in travel, you want to grab that travel spot because we'll be putting all of our travel through one person. So you just can't miss that opportunity. If you are a baker, you want to go ahead and apply for that spot because we're going to be putting all of our bakery orders through you. If you offer a service like organizational communications and you need contracts, listen, there's going to be 124 more people who are prospective clients who are going to be using you and your services and referring you. So you are not going to want to wait to apply. So as soon as you receive the email with the link, go ahead and apply. You'll see the information on what you will need to do. Now, I will say that, of course, there is a membership fee for Modern Noir. And this fee is what is going to keep the business going. This is what is going to allow me to continue to serve in excellence. This is going to be a lot of the things that offset costs so that as members, you don't have to pay fees for certain things and events, or you get tremendous discounts. We also have partner benefits and perks that you will receive as being a member of Modern Noir, where you receive perks and discounts from other minority businesses, from each other, just so many things, and especially from Modern Noir. So you definitely be VIP with your perks and benefits and services. So you can be from any county in the surrounding areas. However, I will say that the outlying counties outside of Davidson County, like Rutherford County, Bedford County, Wilson County, Williamson County, will probably have first dibs on spaces in Modern Noir. And I say this because, I don't want to disinclude Davidson County, but Davidson County has so many resources and so many things that for people who live in that area. And these outlying counties, we need more things for minority businesses and more opportunities. So I will say that those counties will possibly getting first precedence over opportunities. So if we have two people for travel and they're both, excellent and great fits, that the one in Rutherford County could possibly be invited to Modern Noir over the one in Davidson County, just because, we have limited resources and opportunities here, and we want to do that. So as we grow and evolve in Modern Noir, we would like to expand to more spots so that we can invite more people and possibly have satellite areas in other parts of of Tennessee. I know that Clarksville has reached out and they're interested, in being plugged in, and so has the Williamson County area. So we're just super excited and happy to, be able to expand. And so, even though we're based out of Rutherford County, we are doing things in different places. I am partnering with some businesses and organizations in Nashville. So Modern War will have a Nashville presence and be doing things their way. Again, we're very new, and as we grow and evolve, we'll just kind of pivot as we need to. So onto the important stuff. So everyone wants to know, well, how much is it? How much is it? So just know that this business model, there are other organizations that do this business model, and it is well over $10,000 a year to be a part of an organization like this that is structured how we are. However, most people who are in business, who are looking for an alliance like this, are looking for an alliance because they're looking to collaborate and grow and evolve, and they aren't where they want to be just yet. So we are coming in way, way affordable. And if you are receiving this video via email or watching the replay, or you're on here live right now, just know that these prices that I'm going to be giving right now to join Modern Noir are limited, and they're only for you guys. Okay, they're only for you guys. They're never going to be this inexpensive again. But as we grow and evolve, we want your feedback. And so we're coming in at $125 a month to be a member of Modern Noir. $125 a month for 12 months. It's for the year. The membership is for a year. And so that doesn't mean that you can join for 3 months and then decide you're going to take a break. And, it's not like that. So if you join, you are joining in the commitment for 1 year. If you pay monthly, it's just dividing your yearly fee into a monthly play. It's just making it more affordable. So if you decide that you want to leave it for some reason, then you forfeit your space. You forfeit your space, you forfeit your funds, and you're still responsible for the rest of it. So I just want to put that out there. But if we also have a yearly payment, and so if you want to pay for the whole year, just get over with, it's just $12.50. Pay for the whole year, you'll save $250, which is like getting 2 months free. So you can either pay $125 per month, or you can pay $12.50 for the whole year. And when I tell you that is just like so inexpensive for all the things that I have in store for you guys, like you just have no idea. You just have no idea. And it's not going to be this amount for long. It's not going to be this amount for everyone. It's not going to be this amount ever. It's not going to be this low ever again. But I just wanted to really just kind of come out the gate and give everybody who has been, being faithful and ready to step out on faith to have the opportunity to actually do it, and to do it in a super affordable way. So welcome. I will be following up and sending out the link with the application so that you can get started. And so we're wrapping up, and I don't want to keep you too much longer. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting. 2020 is the year of perfect vision, and we are ready to get it. We are ready to use these 7 principles of Kwanzaa to get together, to work together, and to make sure that we all have the best 2020 ever. So I will be following up with you soon. Happy New Year.
This conference will now be recorded.